All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to your Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday. And hopefully, right, we can have a trading session here today that's on topic and following the rules, right? That would be significantly appreciated by me and I think everyone here in the room this morning. Really don't like having to lose my zone of focus like we did yesterday. It's extremely unfair. It's not something that A, I particularly enjoy. B, I'm always, extremely embarrassed by it. But C, it also means you can't get the resolution that you're looking for, right? So it's literally a lose, lose, lose. Like to avoid those situations here if possible, and instead just focus on the thing that we're all here for, which is to make money and to get better as traders. So that's today's focus. That is today's energy. I'm unwilling to tolerate anything besides that, and would appreciate the team if you guys could help me enforce that as well. The more that we you guys effectively bitch out people who are asking inappropriate questions, the less inappropriate questions we're going to get. So I know it's kind of a little bit of an unfair ask for you all to be my moderators, but I think that that's probably where we're at here these days. So apologies. We'll try to get that sorted and fixed, and hopefully we can kind of get going here a little bit. I want to ignore the chat, Deb, but I also think that it's very valuable for me to be able to answer people's trading questions when they have them, right? When I started trading, I pestered and asked Steph, who was the guy who was training me, every freaking annoying trading question I could think of, and he answered each and every single one of them, and that made me a much better trader. I never had to sit and wait and assume I knew something. So that's what I'm trying to create, right? Trying to have that environment here where people can get instant feedback on their learning. That's extremely powerful when done appropriately. And I'd like to keep that environment as much as I can, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it is one of those things. But yeah, happy, you guys are more than welcome to be my eyes and ears to a certain extent. And yeah, would appreciate that. And look, we spend every week an hour fixing people's tech problems and fixing tech issues and doing these sort of things. So it's not like people get ignored when it comes to these things. And anyway, enough is enough. I don't want to get stuck on this today. All right, so pre-market prep here. We got some G7 meetings, fun. I'm sure Carney's going to talk about the new world order and then complain about why is America getting mad at us. So that'll be interesting. That might piss me off later on. We'll have some Fed speak this evening. Fine, don't care. We got pending home sales here at 10. That could certainly open up a little bit of, I don't know, some complications here, right, this morning. Good, Olivia. And yeah, hopefully we can get ourselves a strong session here and get back to where we should be. So, okay. All right. Yes. Green candle, increasing volume, gap down. So 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. Pre-market, we're looking at 50s or 40s are pre-market high, so 74.40. Okay, and then to the downside here, yesterday's low of day is going to be our starting point, so 73.70. Nice, already there. So don't need to change too much. All right, NQ, we're going to do this. Okay. And we'll put that square in the middle in yellow. Okay. Red candle, increasing volume, gap down. We'll call that a weak red candle. And we're looking at 28,800 here as our kind of starting point. Realistically, that's going to get taken care of. So our levels here this morning, right, are 28,500, 28,2, and then 28. So I'll go 28,7 as our starting point. And then we'll fill that down towards 28. Okay, and then to the upside here, we're looking at 29,200. Get rid of this. Okay, looks good. How do I make sure this is locked? Whatever. All right. CL, green candle, increasing volume, gap up technically, so 3 for 3. Apple, 2 out of 3 without volume to the downside. Oops. Yeah. All right. Tesla, 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume. Microsoft, inside bar, nailed it. I swear this is the thing I'm the best at in the world. Amazon, green candle, decreasing volume, gap down. So 1 for 3, pretty weak candle. So we'll call this a weak 1 for 3 to the upside. Amazon, 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume. All right, so kind of weak trending price action here pretty much across the board. NVIDIA has got earnings tomorrow. NVIDIA is a psycho with how late it does earnings. Red, decreasing, gap down. So again, 2 out of 3 without volume going into earnings. Meta, green, increasing, gap down. So same thing, weak, 2 out of 3 with vol. Netflix, 3 for 3 to the upside this time. And then Google, weak, 3 for 3 here to the upside. I'm guessing VIX probably in the low 18 range. Oh, 17.97, so just about where we expected. So it gives us an implied range of about 1% here this morning. Any questions here, team, before we get started here? Kind of fire through that prep pretty quick. Any questions? My mic working? Yeah. So DTR after dark, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. DTR after market close, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern on Mondays and Wednesdays. So yesterday we had one at Hey, appreciate that right click. I live in, very blessed to live in one of those beautiful places in the world. And so got to take advantage of that just a little bit more. What's up, number one? How you doing, Brent? No, I'd like to spend more time outside too. Uh, I think I look a little bit like a raccoon half the time, but we're getting there. So yeah, should be a reasonably interesting day. We have a decent amount of like mixed narratives, right? So kind of all of our leading names told us a slightly different version of a story. We had some weak trending price action. We had some trending price action that was strong. We had some trending price action that was strong to the downside. We've got a bit of a divergence right on ES and NQ on their previous daily candles. We'd like to see, if these stories sync up, and if they don't sync up, right, which one of those stories is effectively the strongest of the bunch. If NQ and tech weakness wants to be a bit of a narrative, and we start to see a bit of a sell-off, and we see some pressure show up, then amazing. We should be able to take advantage of that. If it ends up being a mean reversion day and we see, bull step in and defend 28,800 or something along those lines, then again, we should have an opportunity to take advantage of that. Yesterday was kind of a weird day from a trading perspective. It felt like we had bouts of volatility, right, where price action moved really, really quickly, and then it just kind of stalled out or shaked out or did whatever. That happens sometimes. I think from my perspective, yesterday I had the opportunity to have a green day, but I made an execution error, and that kind of made things a little bit more challenging for me than they needed to have been. If I can avoid those execution errors, right, then I'm probably well positioned to be in a good place here this morning. That doesn't mean I'm going to change anything too aggressively here, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm dotting my I's and crossing my Z's, right, before I have an opportunity to screw myself over. So that's going to be priority number one here, right? Focus on the quality of my execution, make sure that all my numbers are correct, all synced up and behaving the way that I expect. And then once they are, should be fine to follow my rules and execute my strategy and do whatever I need to do. So excited to see what the market has in store for us. Optimistic we can get ourselves some good action here, but not going to force anything, not going to rush anything, not going to do anything that would be quote unquote stupid, and hopefully can put myself in a good situation to take advantage of whatever the market wants to give me. So excited, optimistic. I think that there will be some good action here, and hopefully we can take advantage of it, make our money, and go enjoy the rest of our days. Yeah, Canadian markets were closed yesterday, but there's so few capitalists left in Canada that I doubt it makes too much of a difference. I can say that as one of the only remaining, it feels like sometimes. But we'll see how she goes. Any other questions here before we start the session off, team? We'll have the US will have its own May long weekend here pretty soon, right? So Monday, May 29th, right? Markets are going to be closed. Oh no, Monday, May 25th. Sorry, Monday, May 25th. So next Monday. Or this coming Monday? Yeah, so this coming Monday. Markets will be closed. All right, so good volatility at the open, 90 points in 40 seconds. That's pretty punchy. So let's see how this behaves, right? See if that volume matches the size as well. And we'll welcome everyone who's joined here through the prop firm. Great to see you all in here and access working. That's fantastic. Well, let's see how the day goes. Hopefully it's an interesting session for us. That's not what I want. Is this text not anchored? Really annoying. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, so 110 points on the opening range. Pretty punchy, right? 109.75. Like, and just before we start here, right? Or before we get any trades. Because I understand people have tech issues, right? Totally get that. It happens, right? Obviously, it's something that we care about and something we want to get resolved. We just cannot get it resolved through the chat, right? A, we have no tracking over it. B, we have no way to verify what your issue is, what your accounts are, any of those types of things. And C, right, it's really unfair to then expect me to drop everything to go fix it in the middle of the stream, right? So we have, you know, on average, about 250 people watching with us every single day. To have less than, you know, let's say half of 1% of people demanding that we solve their problem in the moment is just really unfair to everybody else. So the only way we can get things fixed is if we have a proper paper trail. We cannot create a proper paper trail here inside this chat. So it literally is just like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. I don't appreciate it because it's very distracting. It's distracting for me. It's distracting to everybody. And it prevents us from having an opportunity to be focused and make money. Trading is very intense and it requires an intense level of focus for us to be able to outperform the market. And if we're interrupting that selfishly, then it pisses everyone off, not just me. So I would really appreciate it if we could keep this on topic. Ask any trading question you might have. If you're going to start framing your trading questions as tech questions, then we'll have issues there too. But if you're curious to know why I'm doing something, what my entry would be, what my stop would be, what the setup trigger is, why I'm doing this, these are all valid questions that you should get answered in the moment. Everything else can wait. And that's the value here of the stream, right? So we have 90 minutes, 2 hours where we're just demanding everyone to pay attention and be focused and to provide their best. And if we do that, then we're going to be in a good situation and in a good position to all be profitable and all get the success and results that we're looking for. So no cheating ourselves here, please, right? No doing anything stupid. No forcing anything. That would be much appreciated. And if we could control our variables, right, that makes life better for everybody else. So right now we're looking at the 2-min time frame. You can see my time frame here highlighted in gray. You can also see it there in the ticker name, right? Generally, I would say most of the time I'm spending on the 2-min and the 3-min because it cycles through the most amount of setup triggers for myself. But by default, especially at the open, I'm generally looking at the 2-min time frame. We're still looking for that increasing volume here, right? We maybe have a chance on this upcoming candle. We're about halfway there with 2/3 of the candle still to go. Let's see. Okay, so good volume, good candle close, right? Target here would be 29,179, right? So our red line there. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a shake and fake first, right? So no reference price yet, not looking for an entry yet. So stop would be lower. Now it would be 016. So 29.16 would be our stop loss. And so that would mean reference price of 26. So something like that. We're on the 2-min, right? So the profit targets are relative to the time frame we're on, right? So let's see if we can get a gentle pullback here, about 10 more points. If it goes inside bar, nothing changes. Okay, nice and gentle here, please. Only saw it just there for a brief second, so no chance to pull the trigger, at least not for me. Let's see how this inside bar closes. Okay, wait, right? So we did a good job waiting this thing out. Now we're looking for a fake out here under 84, realistically. So wait. Okay. Let's see if it bounces back. So it doesn't look like it's behaving the way that we'd expect. So we're going to wait this thing out. No entry on this. A pretty little low volume pop. I wouldn't be able to play this as a reversal, right? Because there's no failed breakout above our confirmation. So if this does give me increasing volume, that's just going to be random noise. So no setup here short term. Because that was our confirmation low, right? So if we have an inside bar, the next point where it's going to give us a fake out is a fake out where our confirmation got established, right? So actually the fake out low would have been 86, but effectively the same area. All right, we got two ways that we invalidate confirmation, right? We get a break, close, and hold under our confirmation, which happened on this 940, or we get bigger volume, right, than our confirmation. So if we're playing a fake out, right, we want to see a failed move from bears to win that battle. And then if they lose, right, we should have a clear path higher. In this circumstance, right, they didn't lose, so no fake out. So we can't do it. Yeah, in theory. Paco, yeah. But we didn't trigger that, right? So we're now just waiting. If we're going to play a bearish breakdown, it's going to have to be a breakdown through low of day or low of session. So no setups here yet. No, if the candle body closed above the high of day, it wouldn't be a reversal anymore, right? So like that wouldn't functionally work. It has to be a failed breakout. It wouldn't be a failed breakout if we closed above high of day. So it's just got a turtle head above it. Yeah, so the only thing that we're looking for here now, right, if we're going to play to the downside, is a breakout through the opening range low, right? So approximately 849. And if we're going to play to the upside here, we now need a breakout above high a day. Everything else in between is no man's land. And like our objective team, right, as always, it's not to catch the first move of the day or even the biggest move of the day. It's to catch the easiest move of the day, right? So we're trying to make sure that we have basically like a clear runway for our idea. That, you know, if we catch the easy move, right, the path of least resistance, then we're likely setting ourselves up to catch the biggest. But we want to find the price action that's basically the smoothest first, not necessarily just the first move, right? So that's why we have those like strict setup triggers. We want to see the upside at this point, right? At least initially, maybe we can get a reversal later. But initially, we want to see basically evidence that the area where bulls have failed is no longer evidence, right? That it's been invalidated. And then to the downside here, right? Just because bulls have failed doesn't mean that bears have failed based on our price structure here so far. So we need to get a independent setup trigger. So again, good looking volume. We maybe have some nice momentum here building, but if bears are strong, they're going to be able to make new lows. And when they make those lows, that's where we're going to have an opportunity to be aggressive again. If markets want to consolidate, if they want to stick around in the middle, if they want to just hang out, that's fine. They're more than welcome to do that. I don't have to waste any of my time, energy, or money trying to hang out with price in the middle of a range, right? Very bad risk reward, very low expectations of that actually being a profitable decision. And I don't need to chase or force something just because I want to feel alive. There's a lot of other ways that you can do that, right? Go do a cold plunge. You'll feel you'll feel more alive than you'd ever expected. So there's easier things that we can do besides wasting our money trying to satisfy our dopamine addiction. I mean, I'd probably tell you to turn the heat up, Olivia, but I get that. That's actually part of my post-trading routine. Yes, 100% does. Well, for me, after I finish my trading day, I jump in the sauna, and then from the sauna right into the cold plunge. And oh my gosh, does that shock your system into compliance? Okay, so again, good bullish volume, but kind of in the middle of the range, right? So we still need it to unfortunately move about 100 points. And that's what kind of sucks when the range is so big, right? Because the gaps between our no man's land are pretty aggressive. They're not like World War I style no man's land. They're pretty big. So, we might have to just be a little bit patient here. We have some 10 a.m. data this morning, new home sales. Generally not a huge deal, but it is orange folder. So, could create some level of volatility here for us. It's seemingly this is a market that's maybe giving us a bit of a mixed bag story here so far. I'm certainly not super confident that we've identified the path of least resistance yet. No, definitely not within bayonet range. Oh gosh. Okay, so still right. I'm just chopping, bouncing. Oh, reason to be hyper aggressive yet. And like if we're being honest, right? Even if we played this to the downside here at 942, this isn't moving anywhere, right? This isn't giving us any follow through. So for sure, right, in hindsight, this looks like a false signal. So we've done a good job kind of filtering out some obvious mistakes here so far. Now, I'd love to get a trade, right? Like, obviously, that's my intention. Wake up nice and early to be able to get some price action. But if the market doesn't give us what we're looking for, I'm not just going to place a trade because I want to feel alive, right? got to be reasonable. It's got to be absolutely what I expect. Everything else is a waste of my time, energy, and money. And that's a hat trick of things to not waste, right? Oh, I agree. Yeah. I mean, best days in the world, right? Or when you're done by 10 a.m. If we can have more days like Friday, I think everyone's gonna be pretty happy. Now it's kind of like if you go to a bar and you're like hanging out at last call trying to find someone to talk to, you're probably not meeting the cream of the crop, right? That's kind of the same thing with trading sometimes. If you're hanging out hoping all day you're going to find a pretty girl to dance with, you might find someone who's missing her teeth. Yeah, exactly. I think so. Yeah, I think there for sure is. There's like a desperation to it, right? Well, just because we're serious doesn't mean we can't have fun in here too. Yeah, we're still kind of stuck here. Excuse me. Not enough coffee. I mean, to be honest with you, SLA calls. I don't really know how to answer that question, right? Because like any set of candles could be interesting in the right context, right? Like this was for us an active setup trigger here to the upside. We were looking for an entry. It just didn't want to behave appropriately for us as it came down to execution. But like I can find any candle at any given time to be potentially an interesting opportunity. So it's kind of a tough one for me to answer. All right. Like fundamentally, all I care about really is like the candle at setup trigger time, right? So my setup trigger is a breakout in this circumstance, right? It was a breakout through high of day. So the second I see a breakout through high of day, I don't really care what these three look like. All I care about is what the setup candle looks like. Yeah, what else could we talk about that's controversial here, Nick? The only politics that I support here is a extreme disdain for communism and socialism. Fuck those pussies. Everything else, it's bullshit. Oh God. I don't watch a ton of basketball. Honestly, I don't have time to watch too many sports. I do watch the Premier League, so I'm a big Chelsea fan. That's my probably pure passion in life. And then I mean, I'm looking down at my hoodie right now. I've got an Eagles hoodie on. But I can't say I get to watch too much sports. Hell yeah, go Birds. I've been as I'm eating dinner, I've been trying to watch through The Sopranos again. And I'm on like episode 3 after like 2 months. That's taken me a long time. The free time I do have, I try to spend in the mountains as much as I can. Like the reason I moved to Whistler specifically, besides it just being an awesome place to live, is when I was a kid, I spent so much time like playing in the trees and biking and running and hiking and stuff like that. That I swear that like when I breathe the air in the trees here, I just feel at peace. So any time I can go out and spend time outdoors, spend time amongst the forests and the mountains, like it just gives me so much energy, and that's the main reason I moved here. Um, you know what? It's relative, Paco, because when I have a really bad winter day here, I have a world class mountain that I can go snowboarding on, right? So it's like you kind of want it to be a rough winter because then you get unlimited POW days, and those are amazing. And yeah, those are really really fun. So no, not really. So Stratford's a part of London. I spent a bit of time there once upon a time, but never in the Canadian east part of it. I lived in Toronto, Montreal, and a small little town called Verona when I was out east in Canada. I missed the home I had in Verona. It was really nice. But oh my god, worst small town ever. I have not. No, it's like literally a small town where the grocery store only had stale groceries. I did spend 3 months in Italy once upon a time, though. One of the guys I worked with at Airain, a guy named Nico, was Italian. And when I quit my job, I spent a couple months living with his family in Italy, learning how to cook. That was pretty cool. Oh, if I'm gonna uh, go somewhere in the US, I would go somewhere where the taxes are lower. California is amazing, and Spencer Pratt's doing some great ads. But if I'm gonna escape the tax regime of this place, I'm gonna make sure I do it properly. realistically, you know, my move is oh gosh, I know, Greg. My move would be to get like I kind of want to buy a house in like Costa Rica or something. Like my dream is to move somewhere where the government doesn't care that you exist. Yeah, good luck. I know it's next to impossible. Yeah, Cabo would be really nice. Panama, I've been there. My sister did she's like one of those doctors without borders freaks. She did some time in Panama. And I don't know, Panama just felt like a cheap version, like cheap cultural version of South America. I don't know if I really enjoyed it. Yeah. We'll buy Little St. Jeff's or Little St. James. I'm sure there's trading infrastructure set up there. Okay, so let's see if we can get a breakout here through low a day, right? That's kind of what we're hoping for. Yeah, so we're within striking distance. Maybe not this candle, maybe the next one. This wouldn't have been enough volume anyway, so kind of nice that it waited for us. Uh 728. Sorry, what time zone are you in, Act Boy? 828. Again, what time zone? Because I've got Eastern on here, right? This is Eastern. So 828, right? That's before market open. So I don't care about stuff before market open, right? Yeah, I mean, this has been one of the craziest squeezes you will ever see in market history, right? Like if we look at just even the last like 20 years of markets, you don't get any squeezes to the upside of that capacity. I mean, the last one, 99, right? Some of us might not even been born by then. So pretty crazy market. But I felt like I did better trading in this chop than in this squeeze, right? Because this chop gave us more entry opportunities. This, a lot of stuff just runs. And that's a bit frustrating. All right, so we do have a nice little setup trigger here. Let's focus up a little bit. So we're looking at something like that-ish. Now, that's very fast movement, right? It was a quick 40-point pullback, 40-point dump. Might not quite get the entry criteria I'm looking for here. We need an 861, right, as an entry. So that's a pretty punchy pullback at this point, right? 27 odd points. Oh, let's see. If it doesn't give me an entry on this candle, right, it can always give me an entry on the next one. That's not a big deal. So realistically, we're going to be looking at an entry here on the next candle. We're now under 800, so that's pretty positive. This has a chance to go increasing volume as well. Don't necessarily need it, but helps for sure. It's a shame we couldn't get that entry. Quick 100 points. That would have been nice. Okay, so we're still back in business here. We want to see a little shake and fake. Okay, so you're looking at 97 as your stop loss here for now. 87 would be your reference price. Okay, guys, and I'm in. I mean, pretty much right away. Entry price 88.50, 88.50 short. Stop loss 97. Let's see if this thing can flush and make a lower low here on us. Come on. Push, 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 you psycho. Don't like that. You gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, I got stopped out. Potentially try this again. That would be an 807 stop loss. Give it a sec. Let this close. Might just want to fake out above again here. Bit unlucky. That was ruthless. I just want to see a fake out above that high now, right? If I'm going to play this on the 2. Otherwise, I'll play this on the 5. If we're getting too mad, guys, about like a 7-point loss, we've kind of lost the plot a little bit, right? So obviously annoying price action to get shaken out after that little fake out, but certainly not the end of the world. Okay, so now you're looking at 831 as your stop loss, 831 as your stop loss, reference price 21. Ah, it moves so fast. It's so annoying. And this reference price, sorry, wrong. Oh, my dyslexia was showing there just a little bit. It's good volume, right, if you're a bull, but it's not going to be a good candle. So I would still say we've got bearish control here. So still looking for that 821. I'm going to let it breathe, though, if it pulls into that zone. So I'm judging, right, post-entry, I'm judging what the candle closes like. So post-entry, candle needs to close as a lower low, strong candle shape, ideally increasing volume. If I get that narrative post-entry, then I know my idea is strong and I've got no reason to get out. If I don't get that idea, then I need to close my position. In between that entry and initial candle close, I basically need to trust my risk management. Bit unlucky, but we can try again. Okay, now we can reset. So now you're looking at 75. What a dick. $75, $65, right? And if we don't get the behavior here, we got 30 seconds till the 3-min time frame, at which point we can switch to that, right? And I need 9 points to be green on the day. We've seen candles move 100 points at a time here, so don't need to panic. We don't need to force anything. We don't need to rush a decision. We're well within striking distance. Okay, so we're going to focus on the 3-min. Need to see a fake out above 39. Okay, there it possibly is. So that would put us at 49 as a stop loss, 38. All right. It's moving pretty fast. So I got to fight this to not chase it, right? Okay, and then the subsequent two-min candle is just closed, so we can reset this again. You're looking at 28 and then it'd be 18 as your reference price. Okay, guys, I'm in. Bad fill, and I'm out. Try this again. 38.28, 38.28. I rushed that one maybe just a little bit too much. It's giving us a little shake and fake here, and it's moving fast. So I'm down 12 points on the day here so far. I can handle that. Kind of getting the insane asylum treatment here a little bit from price action. So what we've seen a couple times here now, right, makes the initial move, makes us think it's going to hold, then it fakes out above the high and then flushes, right? So I'm going to wait for the fake out now above 712. Perfect, just like that. And then this is going to set up for us potentially for our entry now. That'd be 36.26. Okay, guys, I'm in. Fill price 30.75, 30.75. Oh, got stopped out again? Is that the final fake out? 43. You gotta be kidding me. That's crazy. Yeah, so annoying. Fine, we've not done anything wrong. We've kept our losers small. Not going to force anything stupid. $21. What an asshole. Just looking at 7-11 here. Let's go, Dean. Nice work. So 701 be 91. Three-min time frame. This is a ruthless exercise in getting faked out so far. Love that for us. At this point here, be targeting 600. We got lots of space still. Let's go, team. Nice work. Okay, so 682 versus 72. Okay, guys, I'm in. Not a great fill. 76.75. Oh my God. Let's keep taking these 4.5 point stops, and then it runs. $88.68. Now. Okay, this is going to be our fake out. Watch, watch, watch. 702.92. Hmm. $18 versus $8. So now we're looking at 708 here. 708. Let this candle close. All right, guys, I'm in. 708.75. 708.75. Oh my Jesus Christ. I cannot find a fucking entry today. What the hell's wrong with me? All right, one last stab here at the cuckoo's nest. I'm going to wait for an aggressive fake out here. Okay, there it is. Fake, 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 fake. Okay, made the higher high. Made the higher high. So now 36.26. Okay, guys, I'm in. 27.25. Keep getting kind of shitty fills. But boom, green on the day. Literally all it took. All right, now flush. No victory lap here. Got to get under and hold under 700. Okay, flush, flush. Come on, don't do it. Flush. It's a fine candle. Would like to see separation away from 700, right? The longer it hangs out around there, the more nervous I'm going to get. You're being an asshole. Come on, die, die, die. All right, guys, not my day. I cannot find a fucking entry to save my life that I can't get shaken out of. So I'm going to kill it there for the day. Frustrating. I literally had the direction right all morning. Could not find an entry that I could survive. That is crazy. Literally max annoyance on that. Hey, Josh, what's it say in yellow, man? It's a frustrating $2,500 loss. Well, reversal requires volume, right? So we would need increasing outlier volume. We don't have increasing volume, so it's not a reversal thesis, right? So everything we are indicating is still that bears are fully in control. It's just really annoying. We keep getting shaked out like this. Again, like this is... mad annoying. And this is your sell-off. Like this is going to flush now 100 points. Yeah, well done, Reagan. Does look a little bit like it could be a bear flag, but I'm done, guys. I'm a little bit annoyed with my entries. And if I'm feeling that now, I'm probably not going to feel any better in my next trade, right? Ugh. So maybe be your chance for a reversal, increasing outlier volume. That's your setup, right? Did make the lower low. Like your reversal setup would be something like this. $724.34. Let's go, Ray. Well done. See, the thing is, though, guys, right? It's a bad day from a P&L perspective, but I'm actually not like annoyed by the number because I did everything correct from a process, right? I just kept getting shaken out, and that's fine. I'm going to get faked out no matter how hard I try to avoid it. It's going to happen. Seemingly, it happens in threes, which is a little bit annoying, but that's life. So it's like, you can beat yourself up for the result, but beating yourself up over the P&L is the wrong thing to obsess over. Now, it's a little bit maybe too close to it for me to judge myself based on the quality of my process. I'll have to watch them back. But like, I didn't oversize any trades. I didn't feel like I chased any entries. I didn't take any risk that was larger than I expected. Generally, I had the direction right all morning. So, sometimes the market just doesn't want to reward your process, and that's just a part of the game. And does it suck? Yes. Do I wish I had a monster green day when it was up 20 grand? Of course. But I can't force that. All I can control is the quality of my process. Maybe the only thing I could have done differently is the only thing that maybe sticks out to me, like maybe like I made a bit of a mistake, was on that second to last trade. Like I was green on the day. I acknowledged that I was green on the day. And then like I didn't take it. So I think, acknowledging that, saying it out loud, almost like celebrating it, maybe that triggered a little bit too much P&L brain. And so that was probably the only thing I would have done a little bit differently, maybe in hindsight. Right, is like I had a emotional trigger to a P&L number that should have been my reason to get out. That's probably it, but that's what's maybe sticking out to me at the moment. So yes and no, Ray, right? So post entry, I want to be judging each individual candle, right? So we talked about the 3 criteria we're looking for previously. So we want to see strong candle shape, increasing volume, right? And holding lower lows if we're bearish. So if I get those 3 elements, right, I've got no reason to close my trade. If I get one out of those 3 elements, then I'm probably being told a narrative that my thesis isn't as strong as I expect, and I have an opportunity to get out. I generally don't want to be trading my P&L, right? So if I'm making a decision purely on a P&L perspective, I'm probably doing something wrong, or I wasn't happy with my risk or something along those lines. But I would say, right, if you get an emotional reaction to price action, you should probably get out of your position. So for every technical reason to stay in a trade, there's a psychological override. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I feel particularly tilted here this morning. I wouldn't say I feel that sensation. which generally tells me that I didn't do anything too stupid. Annoyed for sure. Annoyed that I got faked out on everything. That's life. I mean, that's pretty much the litmus test, yeah. Like, if you guys want to see if I'm pissed off, probably the way to do it. Well, sometimes you gotta take the stairs, right, Ryan? And for literally every single trader, their psychology is their weak spot. It's not their strategy. It's not whatever. It's their risk management and their psychology every single time. It's kind of annoying. So one of those days where, had you broken rules, you would have made money. That's a very dangerous lesson. Oh, fuck, that's annoying. And, today and yesterday gave back Friday's gains. Pretty lame. Or at least most of them. That's pretty annoying. 100% right click. Yeah, 100%. Like Friday, we did like 40 odd points, right? Net. Today, down 26. Yesterday, down 12. Man, this game always reminds you how hard it is. So I go final call for questions here, team. Final call for questions. I don't see myself placing any further trades. Told myself I'm done, so I'd be an asshole if I didn't listen to myself. Some days you just strike out. That's is what it is. Well, I would say that if you're trading your P&L, Ray, then it is, right? Like if you're worried, like if you're trusting that your winners are going to become losers and that your losers are going to become winners, then absolutely it is the right thing. If you're building the habit as closing as your P&L is increasing, then you're fighting against that. So I can't give you more specifics because I don't know your exact execution. But if you're panic closing on a pullback, that's a bad habit, right? If you're closing as your P&L is increasing because you got an emotional reaction and you're trying to get impartial, that's a good thing. So there's nuance to it. It's not an absolute. Yeah, man, it's more work to lie than it is to just turn off my filter and just say whatever comes to my mind, Mandy, truth be told. And realistically, and you guys have heard me say this before, if I want to be a profitable trader, I can lie to everyone but myself. I've got no desire to make my life more difficult than it needs to be. It's already a pain in the ass. And what are you talking about? You got 136 friends left with you here, Mandy. What are you talking about? No, it's uncomfortable. It's not fun. But like, if I'm worried about hurting your guys' feelings, then I've done something wrong, right? And like, if I can say something here that will hurt your feelings, no offense, you're probably a little bit too soft, right? Because I'm never attacking you, the person. I don't think I've ever like, oh, sorry, Mandy, I don't mean to call you out here. It's never like, oh, Mandy, you're so lazy, you're never gonna be a success. You're never like, it's never feedback like that, right? So, at some point we have to not make things personal. I say this story all the time, or maybe said it before, maybe not all the time. When I got my job at the fund I worked at, on the very first day I got the job, as a guy, Aaron, ended up becoming very good friends with. First thing I did, I sat down, sending out my email. He sits down next to me. And the first thing he said is, I told them not to hire you. And in that moment, I had two options, right? I could either be like, oh my gosh, this guy hates me, or oh my gosh, I'm going to get fired at this job because already my coworkers don't like me, whatever. Or I could be, hey, he told them not to hire me and they still did. So is this guy really that important? Right? So, you pick and choose the battles that you have, right? And I promise you, trying to make you money and trying to help you become a better trader, I'm never attacking you, the person. I'm attacking you, the trader. And you, the trader, is not who you are as a person. And the more that we attach our identity to our P&L, the more painful that feedback gets, which is unfortunate. But we have to fight against that impulse. It does nothing good for us. It's like, regardless of how well today would have gone for us, none of us would have ever been rich by the end of today's session, right? So if we're judging ourselves on the scoreboard at the end of the day, we're doing something egregiously wrong. And I'll stand and face the music, and I'll answer any questions, and I'll do all those sort of things to make sure, try to do my best to set the right example. But it's okay to be pissed off. It's not okay to change your behaviors when you're pissed off. And so, as much fun as it would have been, to have broken my rules, ignored stop losses, averaged into positions today, and I would have gotten a great dopamine hit from doing that. Tomorrow, I would have made my life a lot more difficult. I would have given back all that P&L. Probably would have screwed myself over. Absolutely, right? None of us are the number on a screen, right? None of us. Sounds good, Jerry. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll go final call for questions here. We'll do a DTR after dark again today, right? So we'll do a coaching session here, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So, you know, if anyone has, you know, more questions then, please bring them there. You know, and ideally, right, if you're going to join that session, spend a bit of time here analyzing your trading, right? What's one thing you did well? What's one thing you can improve? What's one thing you can focus on for tomorrow? And let's attack that, right, in our coaching. All right, then, team. Well, if no further questions, I'm going to kill the stream here for the day. If you need anything else, reach out to me outside of market hours. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as we can. And we'll see you guys all this evening for DTR After Dark. See ya.